Jonathan Felix sat back in the chair after affixing the final electrodes to his skull. He is currently reclined in one of the most expensive private scientific investments in the world, and today was the fruition of his and many others' efforts. The aim of the project was to open a human being's mind and allow them to perceive one of the spatial dimensions above the mediocre 3. The actual result was still a point of contestation, but it was suspected that the individual would be able to study all possible universes that could be created from his actions, and then choose the one he wished to follow. A man whose every action would be perfect as he had already witnessed the results. Felix had jumped at the opportunity because he was young and headstrong, in his early 20s and brilliant in the field of quantum mechanics. He was relishing the opportunity to apply the usual theoretical aspects of his craft to a physical medium. He gave the final thumbs up to the text behind the safety glass, and they activated the first stages of the machine. A microphone in the room relayed his words as the process started. "If I have seen farther than others, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants." Imitation was the greatest form of flattery, he thought with a grin. The chair reclined back until it became a flat table, and a large rotating dome lowered down to encompass his entire body. Within the dome there was a complex crystalline structure lining the inside. He focused on the facets of the crystals and noticed they had started to morph, shifting in ways his mind just could not understand. He started to feel lightheaded and dizzy. His sight was suddenly filled with explosions of light. His body started to spasm. Reading his health signs in the control room, the engineers instantly halted the operation. A medic ran in to check the vitals of Felix and was pleased to find a weak, yet consistent heartbeat. Felix opened his eyes a couple of minutes later. He looked up at the doctor and suddenly jerked up as he realised where he was. "What happened? I don't feel any different." The doctor smiled and patted him on the shoulder. "Any landing you can walk away from, right?" The doctor turned to walk away, caught his ankle on a trailing cable, tripped forwards and cracked his forehead against the corner of the table. His head twisted to a sickening angle. Reset. The doctor turned to walk away, caught his ankle on a trailing cable, tripped forwards and then was grabbed from behind as Felix threw himself from the chair, stopping him inches from the table corner. Felix collapsed and threw up. His hands shaking, he realised he had just perceived 2 universes and had actually chosen the one he wanted. He smiled at the doctor. "I did it! I could see them! I could see them all!" Felix's smile faded. He now saw 2 new universes, both the same as far as he was aware. Suddenly, a third, a fourth, a fifth blossomed in his mind. He could suddenly see all of the possibilities he was capable of. Some he didn't wish to see. His mind began to fracture. Felix grabbed the medic and in an act of unnatural rage, plunged his thumbs into the poor attendant's eyes. Reset. Felix looked despairingly into the eyes of the medic and started to scream, refusing to stop even when bubbles of blood foamed around the corners of his mouth. Reset. Felix grabbed the table leg and forcefully headbutted the corner, only achieving his goal of shattering his skull on the 4th strike. Reset. Felix sat on the floor, experiencing all the potential evil he was physically capable of. His body shook as he was racked with sobs of horror. He grabbed the collar of the medic and drew them face to face. "Too far!" he screamed. "Too far!" His eyes blurred for a second, then started to turn yellow and shriveled. At the same moment his hair changed to the purest white. Felix, in his final moments, became aware of a magnitude of universes bearing down on him. He would have to live through every single one. His grip slipped and his mind was lost to the abyss. Reset.